Hello and welcome to Gatekeeper's coverage of the 2022 Australian Doubles Championships on the beautiful Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, presented by Full Circle Discs and RPM Discs. My name is Josh Morrison and I'm joined here by the one and only Nick Halstead, also sponsored by Full Circle Discs. Nick, you keen to watch some disc golf?
I very am.
Awesome. We've got here the beautiful Tunnel Ridge Ranch, and shout out to Adam Lowe and Pat Ferris, the tournament directors of this amazing tournament. It's awesome to have a Gatekeeper come and cover, and we've got some awesome cards here today. We've got Atticus Ariston and Scott Stokely, so the young Tasmanian partnering up with the veteran from America.
Versus Aussie classics Luke Bayne and Aaron Moreton, some of the Queenslanders.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome card. We got a short hole one to start here, par 3, lot downhill. You've got OB behind the basket, OB fence right. You can either go straight down the middle or...
Yeah, it looks like Scott's going to go probably down the left with his berg and
just go straight.
hits one of the early trees. Atticus is going with the backhand.
That also is a bit turned over, needs to...
Good kick, very nice kick.
Yeah, you got a ways out here. Now we got Luke Bayne here, going the wide forehand. This is probably the most traditional play you'll see. He's gone something overstable, skipping down, and it's gone just behind the basket. Checks up nicely.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably his Toro. And we got a lefty on the card.
That will be interesting to see how he plays some of these holes. Stand still, backhand shapes up nicely.
It's an early tree as well.
That was a line.
Yeah, hole one's an interesting one. It's a good way to start your round because it feels like more of a gettable hole, but there's definitely some danger in play with the steep downhill and the OB long and right of the basket.
Yeah, you've got to have some very good speed control here. Scott gives that a good run, and that should check up nicely for their par putt there. Let's see if the Aussies can capitalise.
That's a great putt.
Nice,
great start.
Nice putt there from Aaron, the Australian duo.
Yeah, so if you notice, Aaron and Luke are wearing these jerseys from Germany and Ukraine because they competed in the World Flying Disc Championships, and I think they traded some jerseys with some other players.
Yeah, pretty cool to see. They had a great experience over there, represented Australia well. Nick, talk us through hole 2 here. What are we looking at?
Hole 2 is a very tight tunnel shot, trying to get through those 2 initial trees, 100 metres up the hill with a drop off behind the basket. So you just want to play it into that slope and hopefully it just slows down right before it.
Yeah, I think you'll see most of our players on the card here throwing some sort of a backhand that kind of turns nicely. Luke showing us exactly the line here.
Ooh.
Little bit left. That'll drop down about 2/3 down the fairway.
Oh, Aaron's gone with the left line. Try to sneak through. Yeah, hole 2 is definitely more of a challenging hole over hole 1. Less OB in play, but a lot more distance and a harder gap to hit for sure.
Yeah, it's very tight. You want to just probably either forehand or backhand, flip something up through that middle gap and then just have it kind of filter down towards the basket. That's a little bit
Turned
kick.
over.
Yeah. Scott's going to go with the forehand here. And that looks really nice.
Just needs to check up in the hill, and it does.
Yeah, long look there, probably
Circle 2.
early circle 2 for the birdie.
Yep, that's a good up. Simple as that.
Easy there. Luke has a green light here to run it. Gives it a bit of a beard. And it just falls to the left there. It should be taking a par.
So Atticus is a really, really young player from Tasmania. I think he's only, I want to say 15.
Yeah.
Maybe 14 even. And he's one of our rising stars in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was very excited to play with the veteran of Scott Stokely.
Pretty awesome opportunity to play with one of the legends of the game there. Their average age probably ends up coming to similar to Luke and Aaron here as
probably.
Well. We got hole 3 here. It's a reasonably short par 3. You'll see most players going down the left side of the fairway where the drone went there, either with a forehand or probably with a backhand for
turnover, yeah.
Aaron, and lefty backhand. A little bit inside for Atticus, unfortunately.
Got with that very seasoned sidearm. Looks like he throws it 20%. Inside circle 1.
Inside circle 1, that's a good shot. But yeah, great opportunity for young Atticus to play with Scott here and get some experience.
And this happened the day before the singles championship started, so it would have been a really nice chance to practice the course and warm up in a less pressured environment and have some fun. That looks like a really good line from Aaron with his Firebird, I think. That's inside circle 1 as well.
Another putt here. Looks like Scott's put Atticus out there first to take these putts. Oh, and it was a great line. A little high. We'll see if Scott can think one here. Oh,
yeah, great putt.
High chains, catches. He's loving it. That's 2 birdies in a row for that team now.
Yeah, and I think 2 under through the first 3 is usually... Oh, Luke.
That's a little short.
2 under through the first 3 is a pretty good start.
Yeah.
You definitely can get all of them, but hole 2 is definitely one of the more challenging. Oh,
Unlucky from those guys.
if their putts met in the middle, would have been good.
Yeah, these first stretch of holes are quite scoreable. There's a bit of elevation change, as you can see, which it kind of requires you to control the speed of the disc pretty well.
Yeah, hole 4, 77 metres downhill. There's a few different lines here. Some people might go straight down the guts. Some people might go to the right with the backhand. And then I think you might even see Scott go left with the forehand.
Yeah, it's really just choose your favourite shot, choose your most
your own
comfortable
adventure,
shot,
yeah.
and pop it down there. It's not too far, and the hill just carries it down there. Scott goes really wide forehand hyzer. That looks great.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Next
And
up.
rolls, just behind the tree. That should be fine.
Yeah, nice shot.
Luke's
there.
also going with the forehand.
I reckon it might go more inside here, but that's just...
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that initial gap is a little scary with the forehand, but once you get through it, it's very, very open. You don't really have to contest with any trees. I'm sure Aaron with the lefty backhand will probably do that. Ooh.
He's surprising us here, going the forehand flex. Now, I haven't seen this line before. That looks great. Skip.
Oh, that is parked.
Oh.
And Luke's very happy about that.
They love it as well. No putting required on this hole for the Australian boys.
Close. Yeah, I was actually really lucky. I got to play with Atticus in the 2021 champs in doubles. And yeah, he's a gun player. He's got a bit of a rocket putt, a lot like Eagle McMahon. So if he's centre with the chains, it's usually pretty close to always going in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, hole number 5 here. Pretty nice looking fairway here. It's a 98 meter par 3 or 322 feet for our American friends. And it's just, yeah, you want to throw something pretty straight, I would say. You can play our highs out to the right side, but this is one that every team's going to want to get, especially in doubles.
Oh, Atticus probably just turned that over a little too much. Yeah, I think most people will go with a backhand with a mid-range or a fairway driver, just sort of aiming in that middle tree. Scott goes a bit wide.
When it skips inside the tree and filters forward.
Yeah, edge of circle 1.
Yeah, so that's what play you'll see is that highs are out to the right side with something a little bit more overstable. Aaron goes the lefty forehand line, which shapes up nicely for it. And
Oh, that looks great.
That might
That
touch
is a
the... Yeah,
fantastic shot. Luke's got all permissions to run the basket now.
we need this chain height, Luke. Oh, it's high.
Might need to come back a bit. Yeah, this hole, again, is definitely one of the more gettable ones, but plays really nicely for a lot of different shots. And I think that's what this course people really enjoyed. It wasn't necessarily backhand dominant or forehand dominant. You had a mix of going left and right from a few different fairways. That is a great putt.
Look at that putt from Atticus. He's had a couple nervous ones on the last 2 holes, but nails that one, and
Yeah.
Scott does not have to putt there.
Hole
number
6, one of our first longer ones, 128 metres. It goes a bit uphill, a left to right kind of shot. Most people will be going with a big sidearm or a fairway or a mid-range turnover, most likely. And there is water and OB just right behind the basket.
Yeah, and the sloping fairway here means you've got to control the angles pretty well. Atticus goes with the turn of a backhand, just a little too much turn on that.
But that's fine up there. There's nothing really danger. It's a bit of a scary upshot with that slope next to the basket. Yeah. This is where Scott would shine with his rocket forehand.
Yeah, show off the forehand distance. Oh, it's gone high and wide. That looks great. Is it going to get all the way back?
I
guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah,
a couple of steps.
Most mere mortals would be throwing some sort of flex with the forehand or a flipper, but he's going nearly a spike high.
It's quite impressive, his ability to throw so far still after such a long career.
Yeah. Aaron tries to go a similar line as Scott, but a little too inside, maybe a bit too high.
We could go with the forehand line again.
Yeah, probably throwing his destroyer, I'm guessing. Yeah, he gets that turn that you want initially out of the hand and dumping near the basket. As long as it's not near that water. Yeah, it's a great shot.
Yeah, it checks out well. That's a beautiful shot from Luke there. Had the speed control.
Yeah, and hole 6 is sort of where the course starts to... nice birdie for Atticus' team. It's where the course starts to show its teeth. You know, it introduces some longer holes, a bit more OB. And the players are probably getting a little bit more nervous and tentative with some of the shots, but they also have to throw it harder because they're going further.
Yeah, absolutely. Hole number 7 here, this is one of the tricky ones that we're talking about. We flew through those gaps pretty quickly, but yeah, this is a tough one to get the 2 on. The ideal gap probably you'll see on the sort of middle of the screen there's a high gap. We'll see if Atticus, he's gone a little bit higher. And yeah, that's kind of where his disc almost fell there. You want to pump through there and then fade left. You can go straight through towards those rocks at the end.
Oh, and Scott's throwing a thumber.
You might see some interesting lines from Scott through that gap.
Wow. It just gets caught up. That's what's really dangerous about this hole. It's almost like a right angle, and you got to throw through that letterbox. Sort of where Scott was trying to throw. And it's really, really tricky. And if you don't hit that, you drop down straight into the thorns. Aaron went with the safe play, which is good. Now Luke can try to shoot it through that gap. But yeah, that's the perfect gap. That's what you want to try to hit.
Is that going to go?
Oh, almost ace.
Wow. That is impressive. I can't see where that finished, but that's a great shot. That's a tough little window to hit there up in the trees.
And you can see where Atticus and Scott were left. They've got to try to throw these rollers and tomahawks. That's a good out, though. That seemed to catch maybe circle 2.
Have you been in that spot before, Nick?
I practiced in there, but I think when I was playing, luckily, I kept it pretty safe. And
yes. What a shot.
Okay, great. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with that spot in the first round, at least when I was playing. But they've navigated that really well, and Luke catches the birdie, makes up in the stroke, and it's going to be tied ball game between these two teams.
Yeah, and that's a really good birdie. Holes. This is that's definitely gaining strokes on the field, even in doubles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think in singles many people birdie this hole. It's probably one of the harder ones for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good par save from being in that those bushes.
Absolutely.
Hole 8, one of the signature holes, the peninsula hole. So you got to throw par 4, 184 metres over the road. Basically you want to land just before this treehouse here, before it breaks to the corner. And then you have this peninsula green where there's OB all around the basket. It's a first par 4.
It is first par 4.
And it's a little scary downhill shot. Aaron goes with that flex forehand, and this looks perfect. This looks great.
That just gets out near the spotter.
Yeah,
have a decent angle there.
And then he's got a backhand or a righty forehand in. And some people, if they have enough distance, can even try to bite the corner and throw this really big turnover, which Luke might be trying to do here. Yep.
Oh wow, he's going high. Is that going to have the legs?
It's got enough turn, but I'm not sure if it's high enough. Yeah, I think that just caught the corner. Yeah. And that's all OB in there. So sure, Atticus will probably do the safe play.
And the middle.
And that's fine. As long as you don't go too far left near that road, which was OB, then you're okay. But being left is okay because it opens up the angle.
And now let's check out this from Scott. He's going with the road less travelled, big flex forehand. And this is going a bit wide.
This is going into the treehouse.
Oh my goodness.
Nearly kills the spotter and some fans. Sit.
Did you see that? That skipped through the drink station behind the treehouse, and I was actually standing right there when that came through. We had to dodge out of the way. It skipped through, and they've got a dead straight approach into the basket there. So if you've got the big flex forehand, it's definitely a play to give you a nice short approach. But yeah, what a crazy shot, and Luke just makes that easy work.
And like I said, as long as you get to this corner, you can have a pretty open up shot, and Luke just pins it with his forehand, and Aaron's doing something similar. And yeah, a big shout out to all the volunteers of the event. That was a Rupert there at the drink station. He was there every day, making sure everyone had nice filled cold water bottles. So
definitely lifesaver coming through. Yeah, and you can see this Scott's shot just stayed in bounds there, and
they can almost give it a bit of a run.
They can. He's going with a forehand
Berg
as the only hit does. Oh, and he sits it right next to
made the whole
basket.
They made the hole look very easy.
That is for sure. Helps having about 500 plus feet of sidearm distance, doesn't it?
Sure. It's a good birdie. Good birdie putt by Aaron.
It looks like both teams are going to end up at 6 under through the front nine. We'll see.
We've got one hole to go.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I'm one hole early. I was getting ahead of myself. They got another chance to go 7 under through 9, which is probably what you're looking to do in doubles here.
For sure. I think, hole 9 is 86 meters. Straight ahead, you can go. Most people go with a forehand or a backhand. There is a river or a gully that's out of bounds before and to the left. So Luke going with that backhand turnover with the mid range, and this looks great.
He's got that shot dialed. If you've seen any of the individual rounds coverage, Luke had this shot just on a rope pretty much every round, and he just throws it nicely. Aaron there,
go with the wide line. And that's also really, really good. So 2 great shots from Luke and Aaron there. I guess we should probably be calling him Bayne. Most people know Luke by Bayne. Atticus also with the turnover.
It looks lovely as well.
Ooh, go in.
Maybe. Wow.
Yeah, great shot. Yeah, and this is a good hole to finish the front nine. The Peninsula definitely... Ooh, just a bit of a stop there. The Peninsula can hurt a few people just with that OB behind the basket. And this is a bit more of a nicer hole to finish in the front nine. And that's a great shot by Scott as well. So 4 great shots there by everyone on the card.
Yeah. Looks like my prediction might be right. They should be getting to hopefully 7 under for the pairing of Atticus and Scott, and then easy tap in for Luke and Aaron. Yeah, pretty solid front nine there from both these teams. Only missing a couple of holes, and both sitting at 7 under. That should play pretty well. I think they probably need to keep that sort of pace going over the back nine. We got a few longer holes, some par 4s coming up at 1 par 5. Still some danger, so it's looking exciting. We want to give a shout out to all those who are supporting on Patreon, and Nick, you're gonna buckle up for some more hot shooting on the back nine.
Yeah, catch you on the back nine.
Awesome, we'll see you then.